What up, everybody, and welcome to Baz on Blades. My name is Baz, and I talk about blades, and I know you've already seen by the title of the video exactly what's going on, what we're going to look at, what we're going to do here. Yes, it's going to be a very quick unboxing, and I did just cut the tape on this, and I was using my Reich Thor 7. I should have thought I could have actually cut that tape on video to actually prove to you that I use real knives on my videos. In my videos, they are not prop pieces that are liable to go off any second. You know how prop pieces are. We've got another knife from Justin over at White Mountain Knives. I do a lot of business at whitemountainknives.com. In particular, the Tucson products that I buy exclusively from Justin. I go through about once a week and go through all the Tucson product, and I set up notifications for return to stock on models that I'm interested in. And then when they come back in, if I'm ready to grab something right then, I can go ahead and grab it. I keep up with them because they've got so many different models and they are such a good deal. I have reviewed multiple Tucson pieces here. I own multiple Tucson knives and other stuff. I mean, let's see here, right here on the table. Tucson titanium and carbon fiber bolt action pen. Love this thing, and a lot of people bought these because of the review that I did and other reviews, you know, not to just blow my own horn. Okay, so you've already seen in the title of the video, let me get my cheat sheet over here. What we're going to have is the TS346-D2. It's the model 346 in D2 for the blade steel. I did get it at White Mountain Knives. The price on these is $89.99, and with any of numerous 10% discount codes at White Mountain, you get it down to $80.99, $81 shipped to your door. And I have never been disappointed with Tucson products. They do a fabulous job. Yes, a lot of people do not like D2, but they do often do multiple versions of their knives in multiple different blade steels. Huh. That's very strange. That is very, very strange. We are missing something from this. We are absolutely missing something, and this thing is wet with oil. I mean, it is super wet with oil. This thing is a big frame lock, and I'm actually right now I'm a little disappointed because we are missing something from this knife. I'm gonna have to get in contact with Justin. Looks like that probably got left out at the factory. This is pretty cool. Now I've seen some reviews on this model. This thing is stupid wet, guys. Let's see. I'm gonna get a rag here. Oh yeah, let's get something in safety yellow. Woo! Look at that. Let's get something in safety yellow. I just got sort of thrown off on my unboxing here because we come straight out of the bat missing a primary part to this knife. And what that is this knife comes with a cross bolt sort of key, and it is meant to go through this hole right here next to the pivot. The other side is threaded. It screws in. It goes through the blade stock, and it basically locks that blade into place. This is a large knife. You see it many times in other reviews compared to Medford knives, and that is because Medford is well known for making big, stinkingly heavy, chunky titanium frame locks. Medford, their primary entry-level steel is D2. And I know how everybody hates D2, so everybody hates Medford. And no, they don't. They don't hate Medford. A gazillion people will come into the comment section of any review for Medford, and they will take up for Medford knives using D2 and then go straight over to another knife review and slam that manufacturer for using D2. It's Medford people are weird. They are weird. I guess I don't know where they get that from, defending their $800, $1,200 knives that are in D2. I guess that would make you wear it. It's just sort of chunky, but it's not too bad. So this is the TS346. I like the look of it. Right out of the box, the black wash, heavily stone washed, very utilitarian finish is very consistent across the different materials, i.e. The steel of the blade, the titanium of the frame lock handle scales. And that's where you get into issues, is in how these two materials wear differently to abrasives. If you are going to do a black finish and then stone wash that back in a tumbler or vibrator, the titanium finish will come back differently than the same finish on the steel. It just will. And matching that up is very tough as far as finishing goes. So kudos to them. It's not, an exact match. I can tell they're two different materials by the way the finish looks on them. But it's really, really good. One thing about this chunky beast of a knife is it's not on bearings on the pivot. It's on two big phosphor bronze washers. I think this White Mountain had the blade length at 3 3/4, but I've seen a lot of videos where tip to the handle scale, it's about 3.9 inches. This thing's going to be about 9 inches overall, and we'll get into all that in the in-depth review. One thing that I thought was sort of cool was the stop pin is machined. It's not just a solid, same diameter little rod. It is machined. That's sort of fancy Nancy. Right now, it is definitely not drop shut. If I open and close it, you can hear that there is some manufacturing grit in there on those bushings. Yeah, there's absolutely no play in that. And if I had the pin that went and screwed through, then we could, take a look at that, but I don't have that. So we're not going to be taking a look at that, I don't think, unless it's somehow in the box and I missed it. Yeah, no little pin thing you do there. Is it in this bag and I missed it? Nope, not in that bag. Is it in this bag? Nope, not in that bag. Did I drop it in the floor? Hell no, I didn't. This is Baz on Blades. We're fucking professionals around here. So I cannot demonstrate that, but I will be sending Justin an email, and he's always super quick to take care of things like that. Even though I think he has now sold out of these. So I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do, guys. Maybe he can get a pin from Tucson. Straight down the center on that blade center. And like I showed you, the lockup super strong. Something I noticed about this, and you can tell in your reviewer how much they know about the mechanical aspects of a knife and the things that they point out in their reviews. Something that really stuck out to me is this is a multi-point fixture system on the pivot end. You have the pivot that clamps this knife together. Then you have the stop pin where the knife again is mechanically fastened together. And then you've got a secondary crossing here through this solid backspacer that extends the entire length and butt end of the knife. This 3 places right here, this is going to be super clamped together for a folding knife. And I typically would not ever consider a folding knife to be heavy duty. But that right there is something that I have very, very seldom seen in a folding knife, even from the manufacturers that are well known for making quote unquote heavy duty folders, which there's no such thing as compared to fixed blades. But this is pretty heavily built. You can see you've got a lot of hardware up at the front end. You've got a lot of hardware at the back end. You've got that solid, long, encapsulating backspacer in titanium. It does have a nice, large, integrated space here for a lanyard. We've got sort of a pocket clip, milled titanium pocket clip with a lot of detailing. Damn, dude, I don't know. Does that really, that pocket clip, does it match? It's a little, I think it might be a little futuristic-y, a little busy for this design. And I wish, it does have hidden hardware on there. It'll be, you know, bolted through from the inside. I wish that they would have integrated the pocket clip and this rear screw together and done the same thing with just a long screw from the other side that went all the way through. It wouldn't have to have, you know, it's not the only piece holding this butt end together. I think it could have easily been done, and that would have moved that that carry depth a little deeper in your pocket, which I like. This is not too awful bad here. You can see I can get, you know, a little bit of fingertip on it. You're going to have this much basically, you know, sticking up out of your pocket. That's not too awful bad. I mean, we are talking about a 9-inch knife, and this thing is not lightweight. It does have some machine weight relief on the inside that we'll look at when we look at the inside of it. But other than that, it's a bunch of big slabs of steel. I think the blade stock was like 195 thousandths or something. I think it's supposed to be 5mm, although that looks just a little bit lighter than 5mm to me. Maybe because the top edge is chamfered like that, it's just hard to get a good read on it, just eyeballing it. But you got these big chonking looking pivot pieces here. That is a big titanium collar, steel 2-piece pivot. It is de-machined on one side, so it is captured. And the barrel on that is very big diameter and very thick walled, very heavy duty pivot unit from what I've seen. We will take a look at that when we do the disassembly. I keep saying from what I've seen because I've already watched a couple of videos on this knife. LTK did one on the anodized version, which I'm just not big on that anodization. And then somebody else did one on this version that I watched, and I was not familiar with the channel as I don't really watch other review channels. I'd like to see if I can get it adjusted a little bit to where it's not going to be drop shut. It's got a pretty decent detent. It's a big detent ball. I can feel that. And it's got a lot of capture to it. Let's see if I can. Yeah, it's just not loose enough for me to spidey flick it. Rolling it out with the thumb is super easy. I can probably flick it out with the thumb here. Oh shit, I can't. Okay, it's pretty tight right now. I'll tell you what, let's get T8. Let's get some tools here. And this initial impression out of the box thing that was supposed to be 10 minutes is going to drag into a full-length video, I can tell. But I'm always curious when something comes out of the box. Ooh. Somebody had a little bit of the goo on there. I'm just backing it off a little bit. Let's see how it affects the centering. Okay, I don't like that. It did affect the centering just a little bit because of the pressure from the lock bar. So I'm going to come back about halfway. Yes, I'm not liking that yet. That feels a lot better opening and closing, although it is still very dirty. And as wet as the knife was, the body and the blade itself, the pivot actually feels a little dry. Let's see. Okay. All right. So I was able to let some tension off of that pivot, although it did feel like it had some goop on it. And when it let go, I took it too far and had to bring it back. When I took it out too far, it did slightly come off a centering from the channel. And then as soon as I started tightening it back up, I did not have to go back to the initial tightness to get it to go back to center. So as I gradually brought the tension back on the pivot and it swung the blade tip over back to center, that stopping point, I was still quite a bit looser than it was initially set up. I'm really, really happy with that. We'll open it here a few times. And then I'm going to go back. I'm going to take a look at the centering here. It's pretty decent. We'll check any blade play. I'm going to tighten that up just a little bit more, actually. All right. Do this. Oh, man. It's pretty hissy, guys. It feels like there's a lot of dirt in there on the pivot. So I'll take it apart and check it out. I don't want to turn this into a full-length video. But the centering is going to be not an issue. That feels pretty decent. I'm gonna open and close this a couple of hundred times and maybe work up a little slurry in there with what little oil is in there, and the bushings, those phosphor bronze bushings, will work up a little slurry of material, and they sort of self-polish a little bit. And I do that a little bit with the washers in the knife. I don't take them out and go to something because that will not polish them the same as the rotation of the blade. I want those to take on an initial sort of set in the knife. I don't want to take them out and mess with them and then go back to the knife and have to start there. I want to start here, let them take a set the way the knife is going to be. I will note that as the washers come out, and you know, I may buff the washers out on a piece of worn-in 2000 grit, you know, depending on what they look like. Clean them up, re-oil this thing, get it back together. It feels damn solid. I mean, it feels damn solid, guys. I wish that pin would have been in there. Ah, damn it. Don't have that pin in there. That's sort of disappointing, but, you know, it is what it is. All right, so let's get this one closed out. Initial impressions so far are pretty decent for, you know, the part of the knife that's here, which is the knife itself. I wish that pin would have been in there. That's not the end of the world. Justin will take care of that. I don't even have any questions as far as that goes. I know he won't say anything. He'll just take care of it. I like the design of the knife. Again, it's not on bearings, so, you know, you're going to be breaking in a washer knife where everything's big and clunky. It feels sort of big and clunky right now, and you can hear... you can hear that. That sounds a little dry to me. Sounds like those big phosphor bronze bushings washers want a little bit of that Earl smeared on them. You don't want to be doing it too dry, you know. So there we go. Tucson TS346-D2 in D2, a big chunky knife. We'll do an in-depth review after I get things straightened out here on it, and we'll actually see what becomes of this heavy-duty folder from Tucson Knives, the TS346. As always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch one of my videos. God bless all of you, and we will talk to you again.